Today, December 6th, the Christian Church joyfully celebrates and thanks God for St. Nicholas of Myra. St. Nicholas served the church as a bishop in what is modern-day Turkey. Much of what we know or what we think we know about St. Nicholas comes in the form of legends and stories, sometimes even rumors. There is a legend that Nicholas was actually at the Council of Nicaea arguing against the heresy of Arianism, which denied that Jesus was truly God, since he was a son and therefore a creation of God, not God himself. The Council of Nicaea ruled against this teaching, saying that Jesus was in fact the Son of God, but that he was begotten, not made. He was the eternal God with the Father and the Holy Spirit. St. Nicholas of Myra stood with this orthodox teaching and against the heresy of Arianism. And one legend even says that St. Nicholas slapped the false teacher Arius out of anger towards his teaching. Another legend speaks of St. Nicholas and his charity, that he himself was wealthy, and whether it was his own wealth or the church's funds, he used gifts of gold coins to help out people in financial crisis. The most famous legend was about three young women, sisters, who out of their poverty would have most likely had to resign themselves to slavery or even the sin of prostitution. But Nicholas, he saved them from such a life by giving them gifts of gold coins, sneaking into their house in the dark of night, and putting these gifts in their socks or in their shoes where they would be sure to find them. Now, obviously, this is where we get the tradition of Santa Claus and Santa Claus coming through the chimney and putting gifts in people's stockings. In America, we tend to fall into the trap of making Christmas about Santa Claus and not about Christ and his incarnation and birth. However, in much of Europe, specifically in Germany, they designate December 6th as St. Nikolaustag, a day to commemorate this particular saint for his bold confession of faith and his charitable way of life. Perhaps that's not a bad way to go, to teach our children about St. Nicholas, even the legends, on December 6th, and then teach our children about Christ and his birth on December 25th, and really throughout the year. In other words, we can teach both in their proper place and at their proper time. And so today, on December 6th, the church celebrates Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, for his bold confession of faith and his charitable giving to others in need.